Claudia Collins has spoken out about the detrimental social media algorithms leading, she's concerned, that young girls to harm themselves. Now, she claims social media is the genocide of her generation.
Her father, MP Damien Collins, joins the Joint Committee on the Draft Online Safety Bill, aimed at tackling harmful content online, and they're both joining us now this morning. Damien, Claudia, lovely to have you here this morning. Claudia, it's an extraordinary article that you've written for the Daily Telegraph. You know, you pointed out in that it's 4 years since the tragic death of Molly Russell.
Yeah.
But you don't believe anything has changed in that time. What was it that made you want to write this article?
Well, so fundamentally, I was really scared. I was really concerned about what I was seeing, what my friends were seeing online, and I spoke to my dad about it. He said, OK, why don't you write it down? And it was sort of a period of 6 months of talking to people, reporting, taking screenshots of what we were seeing and how it escalated over those months and how it got really scary. And so I wrote it down, and yeah, no, it was just really important to me about people. Really.
Where did it start then? And when you talk about, because there'll be people watching today who will be aware that their teenagers use TikTok, and younger than teenagers as well, but they might not necessarily be aware of totally of the content they're looking at, because it won't have started with seriously scary, harmful videos. But as you say, it escalates. Where does it start, and how quickly does that escalation happen?
It's very light-hearted when it starts out. It's very jokey, it's fun, people like use it as something, I know it's a red flag in a relationship, oh, I have crippling anxiety, and it's a joke, and they're everywhere, those kind of videos. When you like those videos, it gets more, it can be depression, and then, you know, further down the line, maybe months down the line, maybe only a couple of weeks down the line, it can get to promoting, you know, suicide. It can get incredibly dark and incredibly awful.
And this is to do with what a lot of users of any social media platforms are unaware of, especially younger ones.
Yeah.
The algorithm that then directs more material towards your usage. So it can be in a positive way. You like something, you enjoy something, and that algorithm will give you more things on the countryside. But if it's something dark, it leads you down a dark path. Is that how it works?
Yeah, so as I'm 14, they can see if, you know, some 14-year-olds in this area are having some problems with mental health. OK, I'm a 14-year-old, I live in this area, we like similar things. OK, let's recommend them videos with that sort of thing. And, yeah, it's scary.
Damien, as Claudia's father, I mean, obviously you must be very proud of what she's done with this article, because it's really remarkable. But also, as a father, terrified, because she's come to you firsthand to show you, and you've seen the TikTok videos that are coming into her phone, and that must be really, really concerning.
It is. Well, terrifying is the word you use, because the idea that young girls, or any young person, is actively having content pushed at them. So it's not stuff they're searching for.
No.
It's when they just pick up their device, pushed at them, content which glamorises self-harm, which really takes young people by the hand and leads them into a place where they will harm themselves or worse. And as a parent, you can create whatever device settings you like, you can have whatever settings for your broadband in your home, but what you can't be is between your child and the device in their hand. Now, that device is programmed by the tech companies who are feeding this content into young people. And you know, when Claudia and I first spoke about this, my concern was, I think that Claudia's experience would, you know, and the experience of her friends will be the experiences many young people are having right now. Because for whatever reason, companies like Instagram and TikTok believe that serving this content to young people will keep them more engaged with their tools, and it's frightening.
Well, we have sought statements from various companies about what to do about this, because immediately the question springs to mind, isn't it, that responsibility should be taken? Well, spokesperson for Meta has said the company has clear rules against posts promoting suicide, self-harm and eating disorders. They've invested $5 million to help remove this kind of content and welcome the online safety bill moving forward. Twitter also said that the company's top priority is to keep its users safe and is committed to working with industry partners. TikTok has said protecting the well-being of users is extremely important, that content depicting activities that could lead to suicide or self-harm is not allowed on the platform. But does that take into consideration, in your view, the fact that other forces are at work, these algorithms within the system that almost take it out of the hands of people within the companies that are trying to do good?
Well, they're their algorithms. Sometimes there's this danger. The companies want us to believe the algorithms are like a mystic force.
Yeah.
That they were built by humans that work for their company, that are paid by their company, and were designed to hold people's attention and keep them on the platforms. They made the algorithms, they can fix the algorithms. And they have policies in place. You constantly hear that say our policy is not to allow this content. But the experience of Claudia and her friends is it's there. It's being directed at them. They're not even searching for this material. It's being pushed at them by those algorithms themselves. And that's why we have to have more responsibility. We have to set rules for the road here and say to companies that we will not accept this. The young people are being terribly badly affected. Some are losing their lives as a consequence of, I think, a programme of pushing harmful content and normalising harmful content online.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Claudia Molly Russell, who not everybody might know, was a young girl who took her own life back in 2017. The inquest is still active into that, so we don't really know the direct causal link, but her family was certainly clear that they found afterwards she had been witnessing some of these things online. Your friends sound like they're reacting with disgust and shock. So we can't entirely blame what you see on social media platform, can we, for somebody then going into self-harm or taking their own life? What do you think, where do you think that grey area in between is and what can be done?
Well, I think a lot of people, there are people who will have some sort of mental health issues outside of social media.
Yeah.
I think it is sadly a part of being a teenager when you're finding yourself, you're in that self-discovery process. I think when it goes online, it almost, because it is very common online, it's very common amongst teenagers, it becomes almost something to aspire to. It becomes something in some ways idolised, so you want to do it. Then it becomes more extreme. When you're cutting yourself and you're seeing images of people cutting themselves online, it's horrific.
It normalises it in a
completely
way,
normalises it, and it
way.
shouldn't be.
Damien, you're the chair of that joint committee on this draft online safety bill, which everybody is waiting for. It can't come soon enough because we have seen too many cases where there needs to be some sort of provision for this. Are you confident that the online safety bill is going to help eradicate this sort of thing?
I think it will. And I think it will do it because it will create new rules for social media companies and have an external regulator that will enforce them. And indeed, the Law Commission has recommended to the government of creating a new offence around promotion of self-harm in particular, as well as a new category of offence. So I think the experience is that unless we've got very clear laws and rules and regulations in place and independent bodies that can enforce them, that we won't see the companies meeting the standards that we want. We probably can't guarantee 100% that you'll never see anything bad at any one time, but what we want to do is create rules for the companies whereby they're proactively looking for this content and removing it. And secondly, and probably most importantly, their systems are regulated as well. So if they're actively promoting this content to young people or anyone, then they will be regulated on that basis as well.
So they get held accountable.
Yeah.
Claudia, if there's young people at home this morning maybe watching this thinking, I know exactly what she's talking about, I've seen those videos, or there's parents that are concerned. I mean, what advice can you give those young people about sort of making sure that they move away from being tempted to watch more of them, and how can you sort of help the parents navigate that very tricky area? Because the brilliant thing is clearly the two of you communicate fantastically, but that's unfortunately not always the case with teenagers and their parents.
I think, honestly, please just report what you're seeing online, report it, speak to adults. I know it's annoying, you don't really want to talk to, your parents about your life online, but when it comes to your health, when it comes to your safety, because it does go down very dark rabbit holes very quickly, and you don't want to be there, you don't want to be in Molly's position right now, you don't want that for your child. And so please speak to adults, report what you're seeing online, it's really important. Yeah.
Very good advice. It's frightening, isn't it, being a parent in this situation, because we're often not across it and not online in the same sites that our children are.
Well, no, you think your child is being data profiled by a company and fed stuff that you can't see, and for many young people, the first thing they do in the morning or the last thing they do at night will be look at their phone. And imagine it's like turning on a TV channel where the programming is selected for you, and the thing you fear most is being played to you first and last. And
over and over again.
Over and over again,
and getting and escalating as well. Claudia, thank you so much for coming and sharing your thoughts as well. Undoubtedly, it will make a difference, which is hugely important, and the bill can't come soon enough, Damien, as you know only too well. If you need any help with any of the issues that we've been discussing, then do visit our website, itv.com/helplines.